The 600-pound monster in the NBA, every player fears. Basketball players all have their fears on the court, whether they admit it or not. Even the professionals know there are certain mountains they cannot overcome. And one mountain of a man strikes fear in the heart of any basketball player that sets their eyes on him. The argument of who has the best handles between Stephen Curry and Kyrie Irving can be squashed when you see the handles of this player. The sheer dominance of Shaquille O'Neal under the rim is nothing compared to what this man has in store. You've never seen anyone as big as this guy play basketball at the level he plays at. The speed at which LeBron James and Zion Williamson play at, given their size, isn't nearly the same as the game you're going to witness with this man, and you'll never see anyone stop him. The size. The first thing people notice about Escalade Jackson is his size. It is overwhelming when you notice the shadow this man casts when he stands next to another person. Grown men look like adolescents next to Escalade. Brother of retired NBA player Mark Jackson, Escalade is another basketball force to be reckoned with. He uses his size to bully his opponents out of the way. Whether he is closing into the hoop for a dunk, a layup, or a slick pass to his teammate, you cannot stop him from backing you down. If a defender is lucky enough to see Escalade miss a shot, then they are unlucky enough to have to battle him for a rebound. He throws his weight around under the hoop with authority, making it near impossible for his opponents to come up with a board. So, how do you stop Escalade? Maybe you're thinking you have to keep him out of the paint somehow. And how's that going to go? The speed and the handles. Most would likely look at Escalade and think he only has low post game. Most would think if they kept him out of the paint, they could manage to limit him. Most would be wrong if they thought these things. Escalade has proven himself to be a threat whenever the ball is in his hands. Even out near the three-point line, he can make defenders look silly. With his handle of the ball, Escalade can make it go wherever he wants. Around the defender's head, through their legs, he uses his opponent as a fun little toy in order to make playing his game all the more fun. Steph Curry, Kyrie, step aside. Escalade's school of making a defender look confused on the court is now in session. Who can put a stop to this guy? Even if a defender gets up in his jersey and plays him close, he will blow by them with impressive speed. You must not forget, even though an Escalade is a giant vehicle, it is also a very fast vehicle. Escalade can speed past his opponent and drive to the hoop with ease. Good luck trying to reach in and poke the ball out. He's faster than you would expect, and it'll be hard to reach around his body and get a hand on the ball. Once Escalade is driving to the basket, the court is his canvas. Is it a vicious dunk that almost peels the rim right off the backboard? Is it a finesse layup that is impossible to be blocked? Is it a series of jab steps and pivots and spin moves until he decides to flip the ball in for two? Or is it maybe something else? The vision. As if it wasn't already unfair enough that Escalade is huge, strong, fast, and he has the handles of a point guard, he's got vision. Maybe having his point guard brother Mark Jackson helped him out in perfecting his vision of the court. Jackson was known to see the court well and move the ball exactly where it needed to be moved to. Perhaps standing at 6'10" literally gives him the ability to see more of the court as he stands taller than most players. But all this doesn't mean that much if you can't actually move the ball effectively. But Escalade can do just that. Pinpoint accuracy passes to his teammates for dunks and layups is actually one of his specialties. No matter the situation, Escalade can finesse a ball into the capable hands of his teammates. It almost seems as if it doesn't matter where on the court his teammates are, he can get the ball to them. And it doesn't matter which way Escalade is facing, he will see an opening and he will get the ball to that opening. Escalade can give you a no-look pass threaded on a rope and still have time for some showboating. Driving to the hoop, he still has the awareness to find his teammates and confuse the defender as he slips the ball past them before they can react. He can spin in the paint, putting his defender in the spin cycle, and toss a pass over his shoulder as if he has eyes on the back of his head. What can you do with a guy like Escalade? There seems to be no way to stop him. Escalade is the exact opposite size and dimensions that coaches are looking for in players in the NBA right now. But with the skills that Escalade has in his gargantuan frame, guarding him is an impossible task. All you can do is try to stand your ground and not be made into a fool when he swings the ball around your head or bounces it off your forehead. A defender trying to put a stop to this Queens-born brute is only going to egg him on. And like a predator out in the wild, Escalade toys with his victims. And when he manages to spin or sprint past you, all you can do is quote his commentator brother, "Mama, there goes that man." The origins of Escalade. Escalade was born in Queens, New York, and played high school ball at Hills East High School in Long Island. Though he made some massive waves playing high school ball, the tsunamis he made that really got him noticed were when he played at the famous Rucker Park. The style in which many play at Rucker Park suited Escalade's own style. He excelled on those courts, and the attention he drew in was enormous. And it was also important, as a college coach, Bill Hewley, recruited him to play at Wallace Community College down in Selma, Alabama. Escalade, then just known as Troy Jackson, impressed everyone as he was able to make an impact with his size. And surprisingly to all, he moved with great agility. Escalade later made his way to the University of Louisville, though his style of play was never quite incorporated effectively into their system. It was off to the Harlem Globetrotters, and soon after, the And One mixtape tour, where Escalade would truly make a name for himself. According to an article from Bleacher Report, Mark Jackson recalled just how famous Escalade had become. He was quoted as saying, "I remember one time, we were walking through the mall, and some kids ran behind us, and I'm thinking, they must recognize me. Instead, one of them taps me on the shoulder shyly and asks, 'Can we take a picture with Escalade?' Mark says, "That was the first of what became many times, where he was the one people wanted to meet." Escalade Jackson's sheer size made him a very noticeable figure in public, towering over his NBA player brother. With moves that looked like a ferocious dance on the court, he confused and devastated all who crossed his path. With attitude and style that is consistent of a young man growing up in Queens and learning basketball on any court he could find, Escalade had some serious flash to his game. The flash, however, wasn't without substance. You can't play at Rucker Park with just flash and last longer than a minute. Rucker Park will chew you up, swallow you down, and spit you back out. Escalade flourished at Rucker Park and developed the many impressive facets to his game, especially those facets which would be on full display when he balled on the And One mixtape tour. The exhibition tournament was made for players like Escalade. It was the perfect medium for him to compete and entertain. Who could stop him? You're likely thinking, every player has their weaknesses. Every player has their kryptonite. There is a bane to every man's existence, a bane to every Batman. So who could put a stop to the terror of Troy Escalade Jackson? He handles the ball like a savvy point guard, though he would tower over the likes of Chris Paul, Curry, or Kyrie. He can sling the ball just as well as them. There would be no stopping him from a guard's position. Want to stick a big guy on him just to slow him down? Who would you put on this heavyweight that's ready to go blow for blow, round for round? Like an experienced boxer, Escalade could wear anyone down. The Lakers' large squad couldn't do battle with him. Take Anthony Davis, or JaVale McGee, or Dwight Howard, who are used to pushing people around, and they couldn't make Escalade budge. And when Escalade wants to make his move to the basket, he could muscle right past them. Even the heaviest player you can find on an NBA roster in Boban Marjanovic at 291 pounds and standing at 7'4" couldn't stop Escalade. And even if he could give him enough pushback, Boban wouldn't be agile enough to deal with Escalade's sneaky moves. Even the very best and most versatile defenders with size and speed and agility, like a LeBron James or Zion Williamson, would not be able to handle the task. Escalade can dish out a flurry of moves, ranging from powering through you, backing you down, slipping past you, zigging and zagging, all at sneaky fast speeds. Sadly, Escalade never made it to the NBA, passing away tragically in 2011. But if he ever did, there wouldn't have been a player alive that could stop him. There never has been a player on any court in any state that could ever match up with him. He is too much in every sense. If only Escalade could have teamed up with brother Mark Jackson in the NBA, the duo may have been unstoppable. There is something to be said about a connection between two brothers. Two brothers with moves and vision like these two could have been a scary sight. Even if Escalade could have played under Mark in his coaching days, the two would have drawn up some seriously fun plays for fans to watch. Fun for the Jackson brothers and fans of their team, that is. A nightmare for anyone else staring down the 600-pound monster. Probably a nightmare for the crew that would have had to reinforce the baskets before Escalade's games as well. Seriously, he dunks with so much force, it's a wonder he hasn't torn off more rims in his years. Just the gravity alone of him jumping up and coming back down is enough to peel a few screws out of the backboard. Now that's a bad man right there. And that's a man no one wants to be tasked with bringing down, because that task has failure written all over it. Final thoughts. This was another UpNext Sports video. Thank you for watching, and make sure that you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Anything you think we left out with the 600-pound monster? Anyone you think would have a chance of stopping him? Comment and let us know your thoughts. and make sure to join us for more great basketball videos.